Protests outside the headquarters of the Electoral Commission of Pakistan after it disqualified the former Prime Minister Imran Khan from holding public office on charges of unlawfully selling state gifts. Now, these pictures came into us in the last half hour or so, taken from outside the Election Commission building. The ruling coalition had sought the ruling from the Commission, accusing Mr. Khan of not sharing details of presents that he'd received from foreign dignitaries and proceeds that he then garnered from their alleged sale. His aides say they're going to challenge the Election Commission's verdict in the High Court, and Mr. Khan himself says the case was politically motivated. Well, let's turn now to our South Asia editor for BBC World Service, Ethirajan. Is this too early to count out Imran Khan's political career? On the face of it, he's now barred from holding public office, but what's your hunch?
Well, twists and turns are not very unusual in Pakistani politics. You may see this verdict overturned in courts in a few weeks' time. And what is interesting is it is coming at a time when Mr. Khan is hugely popular in the country. In fact, over the weekend, he ran for at least 6 parliamentary seats. He stood by himself and he won all of them. And now he stands disqualified according to the Election Commission. And he was ousted from power in April. Since then, he has been holding various protests across Pakistan, galvanizing his supporters, urging the government to conduct immediate elections, national elections, because they're scheduled to be held next year. And he says the government is illegal. Now, the Election Commission says he violated rules, but it has not specified yet how long he'll be disqualified, whether it is for 5 years or for the time being. We are still waiting for the final verdict of the Election Commission. But it will trigger anger among protesters.
Well, talking of anger, Amrosan, I've noticed on social media some of his close political allies are already saying that Pakistanis should take to the streets over the coming days to protest about what has just happened. Do you suspect there will be massive street protest in the coming days?
There will be protests. As we speak already, groups of protesters are in the capital Islamabad and some other places are protesting against this verdict. But the PTI, the party of Khan, has shown in the past that they can bring hundreds of thousands of protesters to the capital Islamabad. A few years ago, if you remember, they brought the capital to a standstill for weeks when they held anti-government protests. In fact, a few days ago, Mr. Khan had urged his supporters to come to the capital next month, urging the government for an immediate election. So we can expect more protests, because if Khan says that he's waiting, we're all waiting for his statement. If he's going to say, come to Islamabad, we need to take action against the government. And one of his aides already said, this verdict is a slap in the face on the Pakistani people and we should start the new revolution.
Very briefly, Emerson, we're talking about political turmoil in the UK. It seems to me political turmoil in Pakistan is just going to continue. How sustainable is this?
The country is going through a very difficult financial crisis at this point. They already asked for an IMF loan because their foreign exchange reserves are dwindling, and they witnessed one of the devastating monsoon floods in recent months. More than 8 million people were displaced, and to add this, we're now witnessing this political crisis.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll keep informing us of the twists and turns. Amraan, thank you very much indeed.